Hopefully, people will be able to come on and check me out here. There's what I was talking about with the books and things. There's such a gap in my, but I never ever said it was anything wrong with the word. I feel like there could be something wrong with the people who presented the word to us, because how does it go? And there's still or there's some sticks about from, this is who this book is about. Faint it over the New Testament accounts, and it just looked like it doesn't go from, like, I'm not quite clear how the book talks about the, then it comes to what the Father is going to do, meaning return unto those people that mistreated the chosen, and only the end of the book and say, well, you getting ready to have trouble and your head gonna be cut off. And I I don't know. And I guess what I'm trying to decide or figure out, that those books that could be missing could be the key, possibly, or maybe it could explain to us the gap in the middle, and we understand that the Most High is not the author of confusion. So I made the decision that I just really need to sit at His feet so I can get some understanding. I'm glad, Miss Johanna. Thank you for coming back. And so I need to figure out what is what. And I don't know if anybody else feel like this. Is it just me that feel like I need to understand, even to the point that I got to pull away from everything, from social media, from food, whatever it is. If I got to turn down, I turn down whatever. I need to find out what is really the truth. What is Most High really saying? I guess I goes, and for a time period, it was like that. But it's just something that try to, you know, we, and who who are the remnant and things of this. We go through that. He asked, who asks those questions? Is it just the people that's going to escape into the country or the mountains? Who are the people that will make it to the end? Who are the people now that are still standing? I think you should be able to take a look. Aside from that, there's so many false doctrine, false teachers, preachers, prophets. That's why I just said, let me just relax. I'll only come with what He tells me to come with. And that's usually to encourage, but not to spoon feed. Yep. So all of those different, move on to share something with you while I was talking about it. American school districts. I noticed that it's like really deplorable, terrible. Weren't even equipped to take state standardized tests for years, because children, because they kept old teachers and they were still doing paper and bubbling in with a pencil. And other kids were going and had computers, and our children and some schools didn't even really know how to turn them on. And they had like maybe 10 working computers for the whole senior class or junior class, whoever had to take those tests. But what I'm saying is, there was such a disadvantage. And then I worked over in other schools where they weren't us, and they had everything that they needed, state of the art, carpet on the floor. You could write on the walls. The walls were a chalkboard, making it where the children had an outlet to be who they are. They had all their electives. They played basketball. They had cheerleaders. They had a healthy regiment. Then you go over into our schools. Yeah, they had basketball and stuff for a while, but when they figured out they was giving out too many scholarships, revoke the electives up out of school. We don't have enough money just had some principal that did something they wasn't supposed to do, and they helped little Johnny and the team win the championship. So we have to put them on athletic suspension. And for contracts, what they call I'm didn't even have like their schools and things, and I making them too marketable. And so everything, not going to run these things. They shut the schools completely down and never opened them again. And nobody realized that they were shutting down our communities, and it just happened. Schools everywhere looking like the museum for the dead. And our kids are all bunched up in one school here. And I'm talking because if I'm bringing something to people's awareness, it's so that they can repent and change, or others to open their eyes and realize and stop walking around with your head in the clouds. But would it be better if I never said anything, like a lot of other ministers don't say anything about what's really plaguing in certain areas, and we just walk along to get along, which is nothing, no different than that's been going on for the last 200, 300, 400 years. Nobody says anything. But as soon as they said Black Lives Matter, them folks jumped out there, running out there with a fist and full of their power t-shirts on, standing up for a cause that didn't even represent us, trying to get in on something. But yet it's something that we could get in on every day. Like when they saw that they were closing down certain things, taking stuff out your communities, abandoned buildings everywhere. Jobs are nothing but service jobs. Go in certain stores, they don't even hire your daughters. And I just had a couple of things I wanted to address, and I won't be on here long. Hallelujah. I was thinking about our children. And I know many of us have children that are can teach them anything. But if you have nieces, nephews, grandchildren, we got to do it. Because we can't leave it up to nobody else anymore. Our children can't even count. This don't disturb anybody. So that means that you'll have a generation of people or young adults that won't even realize that they're being taken advantage of, cheated, won't understand anything about interest rates, won't understand anything about the system, other than will remain another generation of people being taken advantage of. Children can't read. Just because you can read the words across the screen don't mean you have understanding, no comprehension. The fluency is horrible. Read it one way, did Tommy go to the mall versus Tommy going to or Tommy went to the mall. Did Tommy go to the mall or Tommy went to the mall? Two different things. One is a question, the other one is a statement. Can't discern what a comma means or a period. Can't take a message. Can't remember numbers. You think this was an accident? Why do you think that they're clouded and confused? Why you think? You think these things are by accident, that our kids can't stay focused? They short tempered, wired, set it off? Girls masculine, boys feminine, can't hold a conversation, can't speak for themselves. Yeah. And they have no understanding. When I tell her to do something, she walk past me like she don't hear, then she'll have to figure out how she need to get home. And I don't even feel bad about it. Like I do too much for kids to be disrespectful of young adults. When you're grown and you think you're grown, you handle yourself as best as you can. I can't do nothing more for you. And I don't deal with the disobedient. I give you chances, but after a while enough is enough. Our children need responsibility. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. We are so used to giving our kids everything that they ask us for. They need shoes, we go buy them. They need clothes, we go buy it. They need a car, many of us will go do that too. We pay for everything concerning them while they do a minimal job of being children or young adults with no effort, won't barely clean your house. You tell him to take the garbage out. He got on a pair of gloves or she like they too good to pick up the trash, leave garbage all over your yard, dragging it down the street with their phones in their hands. Don't know how to talk to you. How many of your children, if you got children that are good children, then this is not a content for you, but it's not, void of you listening. Some of us are dealing with some really stressful situations, and a lot of people want to point the finger at the parents, but the parents, honestly, I believe that parents have done all that they know to do. I'm not blaming on the schools or any of that. I say that we live in a wicked world. And it looked like as much as we have tried to cover every base, there was something else going on, a way for them to be disqualified or forfeit what they should have gotten. And I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes, and you'll know where I'm going with this. And some people are not going to agree, and I never ask for people to agree. I want you to listen and I want you to hear. I'm sorry, I'm not here to, go over all of the good times and like I said, pull out all of these flowery messages. They call it creative conversation, creative speech, creative poetry. I can't, I don't have that for you when all I've been seeing is the same thing over and over again, and people don't want to acknowledge this. So I felt like I need to bring something, and I need to make it clear. Hold on, yeah. I don't want nobody to take my dogs. I put them in a cage out on the porch. Excuse me. Sit on down. You're going to stay right there because that's why I want you. I'm sorry, everybody. Big Mac and Suge don't know what it means to be outside and relax. It's nice outside, and they want to be house dogs 24/7, even our own and need a break. But nevertheless, our kids need responsibility. We do everything for them. A lot of mothers will go in and clean up the kids' rooms, sons and daughters' rooms, because they won't do it. We'll wash the dishes, take on all of the chores because in order for us to get it done right, we'd rather do it ourselves because we have children or young adults staying in our house that don't feel that they have any responsibility other than a self entitlement. And they believe that they supposed to just sit in your house, eat your food, use your toilet paper, drink your water, enjoy your lights and your air and your heat or whatever is going, and do very next to nothing. Some of them don't even make nice grades. And if they finish with school, how are they helping you? They'll get jobs and lock up the little stuff that they buy, or dare you to use it, or take their money and spend it just on themselves. But what I don't want to do is bash them because I don't feel like our children have really had the hand that they should have. They don't really have it. And I'm going to tell you why I feel the way I feel. Most of them were raised with no parent No father, barely a mother, because if the mother had to go out and work, she was doing what she had to do. Fathers were barely there. Hey, Cloud9, and some fathers were there, but maybe just there in the presence, but not really actually present. A lot of children were raised by their grandparents, and grandparents had already raised their kids. So you can imagine how much they were able to give with the strength that they had. Children have really had it hard, but then you had other kids that had it good in the sense of material things. We'll give them that. But did we really nurture their souls? Did we really train their minds? Did we really give them what they needed so that they could be really productive? We gave them school. But y'all remember when we was kids, we went to school, but our parents made us sit at the table and learn our multiplication facts and division facts. You tell me if they didn't make you do that. And your mama or your daddy or whomever sat there with that little measuring rod. And they made sure you learned your multiplication facts. And aside from what your teacher had to tell you, you had better know them facts within a week. They had it on a poster board. It was stapled up in your room somewhere, and you better had known when they went over them. We sat at the table and learned how to count money. Everything was done at the table. Now we don't require our kids to even come near the table. They take their homework in the room with their earbuds, their televisions, and whatever else they got, PlayStations, and they sitting there trying to do homework and be entertained. And we wonder why our kids don't get it. Then they go into the school system with all they do is test. All they want to know is, can they remember something long enough to jot it down? And they not giving these kids any foundations. I know it because as much as I try to teach it, they'll tell me you can't do that. You got to concentrate on this and this and nothing else. One man even told me we don't need to teach them money anymore. It's not a part of the program or the curriculum. How you not going to teach kids how to count money because they want them dumb? And if you're not invested in doing something in your household, you can't leave it up to the schools. It's not equipped to teach them anything. It looked the part, but it's not the part. Just like going in a doctor's office, it looked like it's there for healing, but it's not really that. When you think about it, it's really about you remaining sick so that you keep coming to the office. Now, if you got a good doctor, he really stretching himself out. If he's helping you to get well, he is taking a chance on your money never coming back in there and possibly even getting in trouble. You don't have to agree with me. Why is it that we have hospitals springing up everywhere? The clinic for this, cardiology, for this, for cancer, for diabetes, for this, for bones, for joint ache, for this. Everything is springing up. Now, if people are really getting healthy doing these things, why is there a barrage of new places and clinics and what they call those other little all of these facilities? If you please put one in the, can you, hallelujah, anybody? Can I get a one in the chat box if you can hear me okay? I see 9 people. There are so many dialysis clinics. Yes, there are. I just want to, okay, thank you, Cloud9. I appreciate you so much. That's these clinics, urgent care. And y'all honestly think these places are there to help you. You keep springing. Let me tell y'all what y'all see springing up more than the liquor stores and the chicken booths. You see a bunch of clinics springing up, clinics, hospitals, urgent cares. And the other thing you see springing up everywhere is a multitude of schools, charter schools. But they claim, but they claim that we don't have enough kids. They shut down a whole bunch of public schools, but yet you can keep building up charter schools. Something is off. Let's go on to say our children need responsibility. I just want to take a little poll here tonight and put a 1 if this is something that you do with your own kids or grandkids, nieces or nephews. How many of y'all tell them to write out a check and pay the bill? Now we ain't talking about you direct deposit people, because I don't know. I wouldn't want anybody taking some money out right away before I ever touch it or see it. How many of you, that's right. How many of you actually sit your child down and tell them to keep a notebook of the bills that go out, and they are to write the checks and slip them in the envelope, put the stamps on them and fill them out, and then y'all go together and drop them at the post office? You ain't got an answer, I already know. And they should be able to mark that book every month. They should be able to see how much money is going out of the household. They should be able to see that. You should be able to write down what the check amount is. Why? So that the kids are active and they know what's happening in the household, so that they understand how a household functions and how it's ran. So they don't think you got money growing up off of trees. Because our kids think that we have money for days. And all we are is a bank machine or a revolving door for finances. They need to actively see. And if you go in any other culture, their kids are working right in the restaurants on the side of them, running cash register, counting down. They learn how to count money. They learn how to do business. They are to run business. They understand customers. They understand, and they know how, so that the business eventually, when mama and daddy can't do it or grandparents, is passed on. But a lot of people now that run business can't leave nothing to their kids because the children are foolish or either ill-equipped. We too busy trying to put them in college, and they gonna go there and spend all them years there, and you just gonna give them a lot of debt or you a big bill. And and what are they learning there? Because they're not teaching them how to live life. A lot of what they teach is about dead people and dead things. I don't expect people to agree. I just expect you to think about it. How many children, how many of y'all send your kids in the grocery store and let them stand there and grocery shop and let them see the total and tell them what the budget is, and they have to stay in it? If they stay in the budget, then, I'll give you a little allowance. Let them earn it. Excuse me. All right. Our children need responsibility. We're so busy to put them in the cars and let them drive and let them get permits and license. How many of y'all make it where your children are responsible for the car insurance or half of it? Yes, you get the insurance in your name, but they have to be responsible. They want to drive. They should be paying for some of the car insurance. Why? Because you're teaching them responsibility. Or are we going to continue? Hey, Jade, going to continue to do everything for our children, and they never learn how to do anything, and all they learn how to be is opportunists. All they learn how to that are looking for hand people to continue to take care of them. Of course, we don't need them to clean the house. I'm not work. And it's a fact. I told my daughter today, you staying at my mother and father's house and get your hair in your nail. Everybody is taking care of your little one. Can I ask you household in which you stay? Ask me to do nothing. Don't nobody have to have nothing. You make some money and you put it on your grandmother's table and you write her a note. And it's that can be bought with this. And it's wonder why you as a liability to a phone. An asset would mean that if I receive from you just the benefit because you're here. An apartment would be an asset, a car, something that's like they say collateral. I can exchange it for something. And can't nobody exchange our kids for nothing because they're minimal. They don't have much that they can do. The two of them are about to get put out in the yard. What responsibility are we giving our kids? As soon as they say they don't want to eat something, are we taking them out to eat? Do we tell them, remember when we were kids, they told us if you didn't eat what was on the table, you don't eat. Oh, that's so harsh. That's so cruel. And so what you got is children that make decisions in your household. They put in a whole bunch of input about what they don't want to do and what they won't do. And they don't give anything to run that household. So you got little Jezebels and little Ahabs running the house. And we refuse to make them accountable. They need responsibility. Now, I don't agree with any adults. They should not be babysitting all the kids you keep funneling in. They should not be out there, hallelujah, building no house a room onto a house. They shouldn't be frying chicken. Sorry, she keep calling. Frying chicken for your boyfriends and cleaning up after your man and men, you shouldn't have sons or daughters that's mistreated by your new woman or your new wife and she don't like them because she got issues with the ex and all that kind of stuff. Look, folks need to get it together in our communities, and that's for real. And she don't like your kids, you need to set her straight and sit her down. But you don't want to say nothing because you like the comfort and whatever she giving you, even at the expense of your children being treated like little slaves or done wrong. You're going to be judged for that. I don't know who that was for. You need to have a talk with her. And if she can't get it right, I'm not saying throw her out, but somebody needs to get some type of therapy or something because that's not fair to those children. They didn't ask to be in your messy situation. But I just seen women have these children taking care of the poor girl can't even do her homework. She bouncing a baby on each knee and changing diapers and everything. Them your kids, not hers. Now, I'm not talking about no young lady that laid up and had a bunch of babies for you to take care of, but it's the mothers. Y'all ain't right. But that's not where I'm going today. I'm talking about children need responsibility. I'm sorry. Let me let these little critters out because I can't even hear myself. The two of y'all are starting to really work on that. Come on in here. Oh, calm down. Thank y'all for waiting. I'm sorry for your patience. I know y'all have things that y'all have to do. So let me go on. Our children need responsibility. Do we run our kids to their jobs and different things and they don't do anything? They don't clean your house. They don't clean up after themselves, but yet and still we get them the keys to the car, or either we run them ourselves. And yet we wonder why they do what it is that they do. We wonder why they treat us the way that they treat us, because we haven't given them any checks and balances. When was the last time you rode in a car and told a child, okay, look, I'll go there if you can answer this question? Hmm. If each pair of shoes, or I don't know, t-shirts are $7.50, and I subtract that from $30 and I bought 2 t-shirts, what's the answer? I mean, we have to probably start off small with them, because like I told y'all, they haven't learned a whole lot. And you might say, well, I don't know too many math problems. Well, look up some problems and know the answer already and see if they get it right. How many of y'all drive down the street and ask them, what was the last 3 streets that we passed by? It's a game to details. Pay attention to what they signing. The kids now, they putting forms and papers in their hand while they're at school. And if the child cannot read and cannot interpret, they are liable to sign something that other people would have the benefit to go in and do whatever they want to do. Well, the child signed it. Now they telling us that our kids don't even need us in places to do anything, to vouch for them, to sign for them, to make sure even the documents are correct. And we leaving our kids out here, and we're not realizing that we are living in a more complex society that is trying to squeeze parenting out the door and leave the child to be their own governor. And if the father wanted it that way, then why would he give children guardians? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. And then I'm getting ready to talk about something. I know I'm probably going to lose most of y'all, but I got to get this weed out my head. I can't take it no more. If you can put a 1 and let me know that you hear me okay. Miss Stu heard it. And I don't know, we got some real quiet people, but we need to start challenging our children. Thank you, Jade. Miss Stu, appreciate y'all. We need to challenge our children. It doesn't have to be so strict and harsh. Play a game. Hey, I'll give you the keys. Answer this question. What's the next stop? What's the exit that we're supposed to take? What's on that exit? What's the next state over? Where did I pass? What city do we live in? What state do we live in? Who is our mayor? Come on now. A lot of kids don't even know basic things. Name a large body of water. They'll be looking at you like you crazy, but if they want you to stop somewhere, they better come up with the answer. You need me to stop here, don't you? The upper hand is still ours. We just got to find witty ways to do this. The Father has given you wisdom, and we don't have to do things the way, we don't have to be strict and sit them at the table with the rod like our parents did us. But yet we learned them multiplication facts. I still know mine, sometimes a little rusty on some things, but you get what you get it. But let my money go. It won't come up because I'm watching that. And they making it where they can do a lot without you. Not even a phone. I'm telling you, some kids work inside the school. The kids don't look like us, because they make sure they do. They make sure everything is posted for them to see. Go in these classrooms where our African American children are. You probably won't even see a map. You won't see the states. You won't see nothing. The curtains tore up. The heat is on in the summer, and the air is blowing in the winter. They do that on purpose so our kids don't learn. Buckets collecting water and all type of filthy, deplorable conditions. The bad In the schools, the other schools, they teach the kids about hygiene and cleanliness and all of these things. And our schools, the young ladies are throwing their sanitary personals over in the corner of the toilet, between the toilet and the stalls. Why? Because everybody want to call them trifling, but nobody teaching them nothing. And if you don't do it at home, they're not going to learn. Because y'all remember when we was in school, we had health and safety, family and something, and quest and all these different things to teach us how to sew, how to cook, how to clean. See, we can't look at our kids and say they don't know how to do nothing. The bottom line is, you're right, they don't know how to do anything. Okay, I don't know what that is. You're right. Uh-oh, sorry. Um, you're right. Because they did not give our kids any information. And if we're working, home economics, all of that, yeah. And if we're working and leaving them in the schools, and the schools are trying to, you know, get them what they supposed to give, they based teachers' pay off of the state standardized testing and how well these kids test. They did it on purpose. And really, what it was to keep them occupied with certain things. And the teachers were always trying to teach them that the kids don't even have foundation. They than they spend anywhere else. So you would think school like they did us, but that's not their responsibility anymore. They're not taking that responsibility, so we have to do it. All right, so that concludes that part, but I want to share with you this. The other day I was in another area, which is a predominantly Caucasian area, and there I went into a ice cream shop, y'all. And I just got to talk to you here, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I want to answer a question that I keep hearing people ask, and I think I might have an answer. Take it for what, if you choose to. If not, spit the bone out, ain't no problem. I wouldn't even be mad at you, but I need you to kind of, they sending every message through. I need you to think about something here. I go in the ice cream shop, and the whole place is ran by Caucasian young adults. Okay, they look like a family. It looked like brothers and a bunch of sisters and a brother. And the young man was pleasant. When I walked in, I was the only one that looked like me. And when I got ready to order, the young lady was at the register, and she asked me what I wanted. And I told her something. I was waiting on my grandbaby to spend time with her other family. And so I thought I'd get some ice cream, let them sit, or, play with them, play with the baby for about 40 minutes, and I'll go back and get her. And so there I was right around the corner. And the young girl asked me what did I want, and I told her. And as I was going in my purse getting my credit card out, but I was trying to find the credit card I wanted. They all got what they have on them. Ain't nothing in there that's dead in my purse. Okay, and while I'm getting the one I want to use, she tells her brother, don't get the ice cream yet, like wait, because she might not have any money. And I looked up and I said, excuse me, um, is there a problem? She was like, oh no, I was just waiting till you pay. I mean, I'm clear of that. I wouldn't have came in here, darling, if I couldn't pay you. We always have these stereotypes about one another, but I don't want to go there about this because she was running business and her business. And so when I paid for it, the young man brought the ice cream, and I said, is it okay if I sit in the inside? And he said, yeah, sure, go right ahead, no problem. And at that moment, I said, are you all employees? What exactly are you here? And he said, our parents brought us this, and this is our business. Their parents brought them a business, and it's their business. And all of them, I think it was like 3 or 4 girls and one. No stand. This was a whole place where you could go in and sit down. They had it fixed up like the 50s or whatever it was. They had some old pictures on the walls, and it was dressed like Happy Days. If anybody remember that little show with Chachi and Fonzie and all of that. Okay, I'm dating myself. I was a little kid then, but anyways, it was on. The point that I'm making is they were running business, customer service. We had a well-oiled machine. One side was pickup, the other side was pay. The young man made the ice cream, cleaned, and the other one was the register, and one more was work. The other girl filled and running business, doing paper. Very nice situation. And then I went on someplace. And I'm driving on a back road. It was in these large houses, land and wheels, and I'm thinking, okay. I went on. And then in this community, when I was right around the corner waiting on the grandbaby, and I see all these young children driving sports cars and different things, and I don't have a problem with it. But then there's this question that goes, and I hear people saying, be concerned about that. And again, Africa, you don't like to make it with me. Why should we be concerned? That wasn't slavery didn't have anything to do with us. That's our do with us. Just what parents, that's our great grandparents. That group is not the Chinese children. It's quite a few just ethnic groups. Now I want you to children, and I don't know why it's ever hate anytime I bring up anything dealing with us and some involvement here. Why is this generation possible to see judgment? Oh, are they? Anybody else having problems with the scope? Because I have to share this. Hallelujah. I want to put a 1 if you are okay hearing the scope, a 1. Anybody? Can you hear me? A 1 if you can hear me, a 0 if you're having problems. And I'm getting ready. Her face, thank you, because I told her something. She didn't hear me. Thank you. And now she need a ride from work. I'm just gonna sit here like I don't hear people. Do everything they need me to do, but when we get to a point that you too grown that you can walk off like you don't hear me, when I tell you to do something, I can't help you. She'll figure it out. Call the Uber. In 1 minute. Let me let her know she better find her ride, because I'm not having it. About love is tough sometimes. I don't know what happened. I think she got the picture. So, anyways, people ask, what does this have to do with us? We're not our grandparents. They don't have knowledge. The reason I say this is because when I went in that business, And I saw those young people running business, and I thought it was great. I thought it was wonderful. I go into establishment that the Chinese or Korean children that are is great. I go and see the Arabics and then I think but that's in order for these things with them running and that's you and wealth. What job do you know? Well, they built the job, did they? Because I don't really want to hear me. Okay. Uh, let's see. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Shut down and come back. So nothing. I don't want to just shut down. But okay. Just all right.